When I was a kid and I used to wear a lot of wild neon t-shirts, I remember my dad saying, "That shirt is so loud I can barely hear you." And those words have been on my mind on days like today when I'm wearing a shirt that says Black Lives Matter. I'm wondering if the shirt is so loud that you can't hear what people are trying to say when we wear it. It's complicated. Each person who wears these words or has a Black Lives Matter yard sign might mean something a little different too. I'm not claiming to speak for everyone who uses the hashtag or goes to protests or even clicks a like on somebody else's Black Lives Matter social media post. But I want to tell you what I'm saying as a Christian pastor when I'm wearing this loud shirt. I'm recognizing the history of the Black Lives Matter movement that started in 2013 when 3 Black women organized a public response to the murder of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin and the acquittal of George Zimmerman. I'm remembering all of the beloved Black children of God who have been killed, and it seemed like our society and our justice system said that they didn't matter. So we respond with the cry that yes, Black Lives Matter. You'll notice the shirt doesn't say only Black Lives Matter or Black Lives Matter more than others. It says Black Lives Matter because for too long in this country, it has felt that they don't. When I wear this, I'm thinking not just about prejudice and individual views, but about generations of economic harm against Black people in the United States. How we have never tried together as a whole country to repair the damage done by enslaving human beings, and how public policies have continually failed to take into account the lasting impact of racism. The Movement for Black Lives actually has an entire policy platform, and you can read it at m4bl.org. Yes, some of the terms you're going to see on there are more of these loud words that aren't as simple as the way you might have seen them summed up in a headline. You're also going to see stuff on their website about defunding the police, another one of those loud phrases. First of all, let me say that I cannot even imagine what it's like to work in any field of law enforcement right now. People who work as police officers are also beloved children of God, and I know that God wants better for those people too. But I think we're getting stuck on the slogan, defund the police. So let me show you a cartoon that describes some people's view of this, including mine. The first frame shows a cartoon police officer carrying an impossible number of boulders on his back. They're labeled gang violence, drug possession, theft, prostitution, drug dealers, homelessness, school security, domestic violence, and every unexpected crisis. We could add more to describe all of the things that overburdened police departments are trying to deal with, having only a limited set of tools and funds to do all that. A character standing near the police officer is holding a sign saying, "Defund the police," as a worried character next to them exclaims, "Defund the police? How is he supposed to carry all that?" The second frame of the cartoon shows a different scene, with the sign-holding character responding, "He's not." Surrounding the officer are many more people, rolling the boulders away toward buildings that say drug treatment programs, mental health services, universal health care, education, job placement, social workers, affordable housing, and more. The officer is just standing in the middle holding one remaining rock that says, "Keep the peace." For some of you, this cartoon is absurdly idealistic and not worth discussing. But idealistic means we have ideals and we need to right now. For others of you, you don't like it because we're still asking somebody to be the police at all. But we have to start having more conversations together about the programs that we invest our money, our tax dollars in, and who gets hurt and who benefits. Right now, the policies we have in place are disproportionately hurting Black people. There are enough statistics and stories out there that demonstrate this. And yes, you can look those up next. But I'm trying to move the conversation forward and tell you more about the meaning of this shirt for me. Did you know the United Nations Human Rights Council did a series of visits to different countries to study how people of African descent are treated and what progress can be made? They visited the United States in 2016, and I want to read you just a little of their report. The working group welcomes the growing human rights movement in the United States, which has successfully advocated for social change. Following the epidemic of racial violence by the police, civil society networks such as Black Lives Matter, together with other activists, are strongly advocating for racial justice, legal and policy reforms, and citizen control over policing, and other areas which directly target African Americans. Despite the positive measures, the working group remains extremely concerned about the human rights situation of African Americans. In particular, the legacy of colonial history, enslavement, racial subordination and segregation, racial terrorism, and racial inequality in the United States remains a serious challenge, as there has been no real commitment to reparations and to truth and reconciliation for people of African descent. Contemporary police killings and the trauma that they create are reminiscent of the past racial terror of lynching. Impunity for state violence has resulted in the current human rights crisis and must be addressed as a matter of urgency. The report goes on to make recommendations about improving education on our country's history and taking policy steps that promote justice and equity. It's obviously not the only list of suggestions out there, but it's from the United Nations Human Rights Council, not a US political group, so it's a good place to start if you're looking for some background. I also hope this is making the point to you that Black Lives Matter isn't new. It isn't some fringe group, and advocates of the movement for Black lives have been working hard on thoughtful, globally recommended policy initiatives for a long time. There's a lot more that Black Lives Matter stands for, and each of us who support the movement agree on parts of it. It's a lot like church. I'm United Methodist, and we have folks in our congregations around the world who have different ideas about what it means to be Christian and how to live that out. Not everybody who says they're a Christian believes in all the same things, but we keep talking together and keep sharing our testimony, our true stories of what our lives are like, and working to make this world more like the one God wants for us. A place where we really live out the belief that all people are created in God's image, where everyone not only has their basic needs met, but can thrive, being joyful and fulfilled. All of that is not just possible, it's promised to us, but it's going to take us giving it everything we've got, with the help of God, to make that world a reality. I know, there's so much more to say, and I'm not expecting to change anybody's mind or anything. I just wanted you to know what I'm trying to say with my loud shirt, and I hope we can all keep working to hear each other. Thanks for watching.